another way. We'd prefer to have a good agreement.
More from Fox's Kevin Core.
A top U.S. official says both sides are working to finalize a deal. Iran has already agreed to a framework in principle, now said to be about 95% complete. But negotiators are still haggling over language on Tehran's nuclear stockpile and the Strait of Hormuz. The president, meantime, tamping down expectations of an immediate breakthrough, saying he won't rush into a deal. He's also giving Iran up to 7 days to get it across the finish line. Now, the proposed deal would reportedly reopen the Strait of Hormuz and ease U.S. restrictions on Iranian ports and frozen assets. It would also give negotiators about 60 days to iron out a longer-term agreement allowing talks on Iran's nuclear program.
Firefighters working to prevent a crisis at a chemical tank at GKN Aerospace Transparency Systems plant that could explode as pressure builds inside. Thousands of residents ordered to evacuate. Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer has more.
The risk of a major explosion at a Southern California aerospace plant is potentially lower. This after authorities say they found a crack in an overheating storage tank that could help relieve pressure. The tank started failing Thursday, forcing about 50,000 people to evacuate. Firefighters have been spraying the tank with water to cool the chemicals inside. Now, that plant is located about 40 miles south of Los Angeles.
No injuries reported. Air monitoring tests have found pollution to be within normal limits. Residents filed a lawsuit against the company Saturday. America's listening to Fox News.
History isn't just in textbooks. It's the story of us. The United States. 2026 marks 250 years of America. And throughout the year, Bill Hemmer takes listeners on a journey through the 250 most impactful moments in American history. From the spark of revolution to the battles for freedom. The ideas, inventions, and decisions that changed the world. The 250 most impactful moments in American history podcast. Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
You never know who might be taking the quiz.
Hi, everyone. It's Candace Cameron Bure.
Hey, everyone. It's Phil Sims.
It's Dolores Catania.
Hey, everyone. I'm Kix Brooks.
It's Candace Bushnell.
I'm Rob Paulson.
I'm Ryan Serhant.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nicole Palizzi.
Hey, everybody's Kevin Nealon.
What's up, guys? It's Nia Sue, and it's time to take the quiz.
5 questions in less than 5 minutes every day. Listen and follow at thequiz.fox.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia used a powerful Oreshnik ballistic missile in a mass attack on Kyiv. This is the third time the missile, which is capable of carrying nuclear or conventional warheads, has been used in Ukraine. 4 people were killed, more than 100 injured. The 2026 Indy 500 showing once again why it is called the greatest spectacle in racing. Fox's Greg Thompson reports.
A year ago, David Malukas finished in second place at the Indy 500. Sunday, as the race hit the home stretch, he was in the lead. But on Fox TV, Felix Rosenqvist was making a move.
Here comes Rosenqvist. Malukas defends. Who has it? Over the line. Who's it going to be? It's Rosenqvist. Oh, my goodness.
The closest finish in Indy 500 history. Rosenqvist edges Malukas by 0.0233 seconds for only his second career IndyCar Series win. Meanwhile, Catherine Legg, who became the 6th driver and first woman ever to race in both the Indy 500 and NASCAR's Coca-Cola 600 in the same day, crashed out on lap 18. Greg Thompson, Fox News.
A lot of Americans staying home this Memorial Day because of high gas prices.
Hawker research found that 4 in 10 Americans won't travel anywhere this summer. Some who are hitting the road are skimping elsewhere.
The fun money goes towards the gas, I guess.
A Bank of America study found that nearly 10% of travelers are actually canceling a summer vacation because of high gas prices. The national average for a gallon of gas was at $4.55 at the start of the holiday weekend, according to AAA, compared to $3.19 last year. AAA is still predicting a record-breaking 45 million Americans will fly or drive this weekend. Airbnb says a third of summer travelers are staying closer to home to save, noting the trend of playcations, staying at cheaper fun spots like rural retreats. Caroline Shively, Fox News.
I'm Sue Guzman. This is Fox News.
Finally, now on Guam, KFC. From KFC, introducing the all-new KFC Original Honey Barbecue Extra Crispy Chicken. Golden, crispy, and dunked in that rich, tangy, smoky, saucy, sticky, finger-licking honey barbecue goodness. Only at KFC. If you're a sauce with the side of chicken kind of person, this is your moment. So head to KFC and don't forget the napkins.
No, seriously. Napkins. Plural. Only at KFC Guam. KFC. It's finger-licking good.
With decades experience in Guam and the region, Take Care members have access to the largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. Membership also includes the high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers and the one-stop FHB Health Center and urgent care. Ask for Take Care. Call 671-647-3526. Go to takecareasia.com for more information. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
Guam, it's time to kick off for a cause that matters. SFC presents the AD11 Mental Health Awareness Tournament happening June 19th to the 21st, 2026 from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily at Leo Palace Resort. Whether you're 11 or all grown up, there's a spot for you. The youth division features under 11 and under 14 co-ed 7-on-7 teams with a roster max of 14 and a $275 entry fee. Winning teams take home medals. For the adults, compete in the Men's Open, Women's Open, and Masters Co-ed 5-on-5. Rosters are capped at 10. Entry is $750 per team, and the winners walk away with a cash prize. Mental health affects all of us. Play ball, raise awareness, and show your support. Register now by scanning the QR code on the flyer or visit form.jotform.com. For more information, call Keith Dixon at 671-727-7770 or Jonah Romero at 671-344-2225.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
It is 1800 hours and 7 minutes. Time for our Memorial Day special version of Veterans with Benefits with your veteran hosts, Karina Ballista, Ray Shinohara, and Bob Kelly.
Welcome back, everyone. We're changing our format for the day. Bob is getting set up so he can hear us. And we'll wait for you, Bob, to start. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, and we're here for a very special radio program today, a radio program for HMI, and that is we are going to be honoring Memorial Day. I'd like to start out by explaining a common mistake that is very important to correct. Veterans Day and Memorial Day are not the same. Veterans Day in November is our opportunity to salute the living. It honors every man and woman who's ever worn the uniform, including our active duty service members, our retirees, and all living veterans who answered the call. But today, Memorial Day, is entirely different. Today is not for the living. Today is a solemn tribute reserved strictly for those who gave their all. It is for the heroes who never made it home. We honor the living by serving them, but we're honoring the fallen by remembering them. The Guam casualties from the Korean War. Vicente Quirigua Ferreron, John Milton Williams, the military casualties from Guam in the Vietnam War. Jose Quirigua Ogan, Francisco M. Asanoma, David Guerrero Benavente, Mark Frederick Pagani, Anthony Blas, James Lujan Blas, Juan Santos Borja, Joaquin Palacios Cabrera, David Batanga Camacho,
Donald Carter, Juan Pascual Castro, John Duenas Cepeda, Edward Cruz Cruz, Enrique Salas Cruz, Joseph Agagi Cruz, Joseph William Cruz, Pedro Aflagui Cruz, Ronald Perez Casito, Alan James Damian, Frederico V. de la Cruz, Herman Borja de Leon, Edward Regis Diaz, Albert Barcenas Doyle, Jose Bomba Duenas, Rudy A. Juanito Marquez Escano,
Vicente T. Espinosa, Fernando Barcenas Esteves, Joseph Martin Estacio, Harold Finney, Benny Flores, David Cruz Flores, David John Funes, David Atoigui Gorton, Pedro Rosario Guerrero, Vincent Feja Guerrero, Jose Babauta Herrera, Jesus Rosa Mariano, Robert L.G. Mendiola, Jesus Kaneni Meno, Thomas Regis Mesa, Vincent Panala Morham, Emilio Nanason Netadog, Gregorio L. Pangilinan, Pedro Cabrera Pangilinan, Henry Pangilinan Pareda, John Anthony Perez, Vicente Duenas Perez, Johnny Cruz Kanga, Jesus Acanino Kidachay, Thomas Garcia Regis, Eugene Raymond Ripple, Thomas Salas Rivera, Lucas Herrera Rodriguez, Antonio Kichichu Sablan, Ignacio Espinosa Sablan, John Tenorio Sablan, Thomas Kichichu Sablan, George Santiago Sanchez, Rufo Santos Sinicolas, Victor P. Sinicolas, Enrique Rosario Santos, Ernest Pablo Santos, James Edward Santos, Rafael Salas Santos, Johnny Salas Taidigui, Francis Nicholas Torrey, Prishardo Jose Torres, James Edward Violet, Rafael Scambelluri Yokoi.
And the Guam service members killed in Operation Enduring Freedom: Christopher Fernandez, Gregory Fajarin, Henry Officiar, Anthony Carbolito, Brian Leon Guerrero, Samson Mora, Joshua Lucela, Jacine Petrie, Eugene Uggan, Dwayne Flores. Guam service members killed in Operation Iraqi Freedom: Jagi Maluat, Richard Jr. Napati, Casper Dudkowitz, John Flores, Ayeswo Uro, Joseph Gamboa.
Okay, at this time, we're going to make a tribute to all of the fallen names we did by the rendition of Taps.
Thank you. That was a beautiful remembrance. We
I
also.
would
Oh,
like
yes, you had to. Yes, you wanted to say something.
Sure. I just wanted to, as we wrap this up, those of us who've worn the uniform, Memorial Day is never just another 3-day holiday or weekend. It is a sacred roll call. From the birth of our nation to the operations still active around the globe today, we are connected by an unbroken line of sacrifice. We remember our teammates who stood to our right and left and who gave their tomorrow for our today. But our duty doesn't stop with honoring the fallen. We must also stand guard for the families they left behind. The Gold Star parents, spouses, and children who carry the heaviest rucksack of all. General George Patton once said, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived." And today we honor their lives as we share their stories, and we vow never to forget.
Thank you. Did you want to add anything? No.
No.
I know we sent you some photos today, Jose. We presented a wreath. Different organizations on Guam presented wreaths. RLTC did, but for us, we did Persian Gulf. That was Chris, Joe. It was beautiful. And ROTC did an outstanding job. So they were leading and putting the wreaths and calling and saying names. It was really nice ceremony, and kudos to the Office of Veteran Affairs who put the thing together in coordination with the mayors who helped with the chairs and I think the canopies. And then water was being passed out by ROTC. And they do this every year. And we saw a lot of families there. The Gold Star families were in the front rows, as they should be, and then accompanied by all the different veteran organizations.
Speaking of Gold Star families,
yes,
we have an announcement we can make.
Yes.
For any that are listening, and hopefully they've already gotten the word.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the Gold Star families are all entitled to a free dinner and drink at B&B.
Beans and Barrels. Thank you to Charlie Hermosa and Jess Cordero for offering a meal on them for a Gold Star family. And I think they close at 10 today. I'm not sure. Yes? So they're located in Mighty. I think Jose's showing it. Beans and Barrels, honoring our heroes, thanking their families. Your meal is on us, Gold Star families. Today, Monday, May 25th. I think they close at 10. And if you don't know where they're located, they are the old Poke Fry location. Because, you know, that's how we all find things on this island. Their food is delicious. Bob, we had it last week, right?
Yes, we did.
We had the wings, the fries. What else? Did you have tacos? Who had tacos?
I had the steak taco for lunch, yes.
No, I haven't had. We didn't try the poke.
Oh, man.
But there were different things that we had on the table. And then I think Charlie was showing us the wine menu. Their coffee was amazing. You
And
can
they're
order
supposed to have a
drinks.
new pizza crust.
Oh, Charlie, what's that pizza crust?
And I hear their drive-through is opening soon.
Drive-through?
Yes, there's a drive-through. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, that was a really great event. I thank them for putting that on, and the program was really nice. It did rain a little bit, but that's okay. By the time the ceremony started, the rain had gone. We saw a lot of different island leaders there, Governor, Lieutenant Governor. The guest speaker was Manuel Duenas, and his speech, I loved his speech, very inspiring, very heartfelt. And then we heard from the Governor, Lieutenant Governor. Then we also heard from the GOVA director. But it was a really great ceremony, and it happens every year. And if you missed it, mark it in your calendars for next year.
Is it
Oh,
on
there is.
PBS also? Was it live stream?
It was live stream on PBS. So if you go to YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
Yeah, so you can rewatch the whole thing. So go to YouTube and type in PBS live stream, and you'll see the 2026 Memorial Day ceremony. Yes. Well, we wanted to talk about what happened this weekend. Bob, what did we do this weekend? You're one of the big sponsors.
Well, we had a golf tournament.
We did.
And that's always a great thing for me. I try to help out and give my support, but I'm not a golfer, so it's kind of a interesting situation for me. But it's a very important fundraising event for HMI to be able to raise money so we can continue supporting the veterans that we're trying to help on putting in their claims, because a lot of veterans don't know how to do that.
Right.
I used to be one, and it was much better once I was given the direction and pointed the way to go.
Yes. So congratulations to the winners. So first place for the golf tournament was Jason Munya Barnes and then Mike Bautista. They won first place. Second place was Rob Castaneda, and gosh, Rob, I don't know who your teammate was. I know I have it written down. And then the drone golf ball drop winner was Manuel Farron. So he bought, I think he bought $100 worth of golf balls, and then he won $1,000 cash.
Gangster.
So that was, and then thank you to Charlie for getting the drone ready. And that was, it was really nice to watch. So it actually was near the starter. You were there, right? You saw it?
Yes.
So right when you come out of the starter area to your left.
Well, it depends which direction, but yes, when you're walking away from the starter area, it was off to the left.
Yeah, to the left. And Charlie was just getting it ready, and he took off, tried, got it near the, what is it, X marks the spot. And I guess he was fighting with the wind. So he's like, I got to drop it. I said, okay, drop it, go. Because I wanted to make sure I recorded it, before all the people that weren't there, right? Then we had two people witnessing the closest, to the, oh, there it is. Closest to the blue X that he had. And number 29 was the winner, Manuel Farron.
Nice.
And I think he purchased maybe the second or third week we started selling them. It was really nice. So we kind of had to delay them verifying because Charlie said, wait, hold on, I have to land the drone, because they were trying to check it while the drone was in the air. So we had to land the drone. So if you watch my full video, I think people come in the picture. I'm like, hey, hold on. Charlie has to land this drone. But that was a really great turnout. One person, or the people that I didn't put their logo out there, my bad, I'm so sorry, was the dugout. So we had them cater the food. They did it last year, and the food is just amazing. Every time there they are. Yeah, so we had beef Kelliguen, we had chicken Kelliguen, fried chicken, red rice, hagansuni, what else? We had pancit, we had shrimp patties. And every time they came in, because we had the food delivered 3 different times. Lunch for when they came to check in. Second time was Chessa, and the third time was the tailgating. Wow. So we had food delivered 3 separate times, and that was the Anderson Fire. They were our hole watchers. Thank you to Chief Torres there at Anderson Fire for having your guys come and volunteer. And then we also had Bank of Guam, Glory, and her team. You guys were amazing. There was, when they first showed up, I was like, who are you guys? And they're like, oh, we're with Glory. And I should have known because they were wearing Bank of Guam shirts. Thank you, Glory. We could not have done this without you. And Mr. Bill and Miss Rita, Rick, our unofficial photographer. We had a lot of sponsors. Those were our hole-in-ones. And, it was nice to go and just drive around the golf course and talk to people.
One person you haven't mentioned, but I think his leadership and senior advice as a senior golfer and a senior leader is General Benny Polino.
Yes, I was getting to him. He was our raffle winner. He was a legit golfer, and he won the TV. Wow. Yes, we had like 4 different people witness the pull of the ticket, and then when he found out he won, he goes, fixed. Or like, no, General, you won fair and square, because there was a bunch of us.
So, but besides winning, he is an avid golfer who participates in many tournaments a year, and he gives us great advice on how to run. We could not have run that good of a golf tournament without his good guidance.
Well, he was the one who started it. He's the one who told us, you guys should do this golf fundraiser, because I told him I didn't know how to spell golf. So just a few weeks ago, he goes, Karina, you still don't know how to spell golf. I was like, sir, I know. So he wants to have an after-action meeting.
Tomorrow?
It's supposed to be, what's today? Today's
Tuesday
Monday.
is what you said. Today's Monday.
Yes. No, I think Thursday, but then there's so many other meetings going on, so we might push it.
I like how this is your only picture of someone actually playing golf.
Well, I had so many. I don't know which one, because I sent 30, because WhatsApp only lets you send 30 pictures per send. And then I did send the actual flyer, which thanked all of our volunteers, our sponsors, the winners, and and then the starter area. There. That's a picture of Benny Paulino giving direction to the golf course. Did you not see it? So I felt bad for him because he was not only checking on the players, he was also checking on registration. He was checking on the staff, and yes, he was golfing and kept an eye on everything.
I didn't realize he also went out and played after all.
He did.
Wow.
He played. He told me, he's like, I'm playing. There he is. He's like, I'm playing this year. I'm like, okay, sir.
Nice.
But if you've never golfed a tournament, or if you've never volunteered for one, it's a major event. It's so many. I know last year I had so many checklists, and I know this year there were some things that I forgot, but there's Gloria and her team. Oh, and Norma Castellan from Chugach. And Norma and Benny, when we first started, Norma always, works with him really well. So he said, you need to bring her on the team. And so ever since, they've also been volunteering. So there's Norma and her team. They ran the raffles. They were selling raffle tickets. There's our hole watchers. There's our food. It was a great event. Mm-hmm. Then our next thing that's coming up is our women veteran event. I think, there was turtles. There were turtles that were coming out of the water in the lake. Have you guys seen that?
Oh, I see them.
There was like turtles and tilapia. Like that was fun to see them. Every time you came next to them, they thought you were gonna feed them. The people that came before our cart, I think they were feeding them because we saw them. But then when we came, they're like, "Where's the food?" Then they went back in the water. This is our women veteran event. This is our third annual. Is it June 12th? Every June 12th is Women Veteran Recognition Day. So it's going to be June 13, 2025, 10:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Crown Plaza and the Tassi Room. So celebrated each year on June 12th, a recognition of the anniversary of the 1948 Women's Armed Services Integration Act signing. So I think I sent you the new flyer, but that's okay, Jose. So registration is required because we have limited seats. But this is one of the events that HMI does put on.
How's the child going to be? It's going to be good?
It's going to be the terrace. That's the buffet food.
But I keep
At
always
Crown Plaza.
wondering why we don't have a men's veteran.
You know what? And that's what I say.
ask you that every year.
That, yes. And other.
I'm wondering too.
Okay.
Can we
Look
have
at
one?
that.
I was going to say, Anthony
What
put
does
them
it
up
say?
to that.
At 1948 Women Armed Services Integration Act signing. Okay, guys?
And we're going to start one tomorrow, May 26th.
Okay.
The Dude Recognition Day.
This is HMI's third annual.
Can we just do it? Like maybe at McDonald's. Let's start small.
Talk to Team HMI and see if they'll fund it. And then our other event is our boot camp. Our next one is in Dededo.
Oh yeah, fun.
Oh man, that is going to be.
And then closer.
I'm scratching my neck. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a huge one.
I've been throwing out that registration form.
72 people we had last year. I couldn't even talk to everyone. That's how crowded it was in Dededo. Where is it going to be?
Dededo,
Dededo Senior Citizen Center, Mayor's Office, June 9 to 11.
Let's make sure, because I noticed it wasn't on last time, that we put the boot camps on the community calendar that Choice has for the Point and Star 101.
Okay. We just have to go online and upload
just
it.
put it in because people look at that and then they can talk. We got to get more ways of getting. We just got a veteran who it took us 5 years to get him to file, and he filed and finally got his disability this last week.
5 years. Oh yes, we can't share his name, unfortunately. HIPAA and all. But we're going to take a break. Yes, we're having so much fun. You're listening to Veterans with Benefits on 93.3. We'll be right back.
Finally, now on Guam, KFC. From KFC, introducing the all-new KFC Original Honey Barbecue Extra Crispy Chicken. Golden, crispy, and dunked in that rich, tangy, smoky, saucy, sticky, finger-licking honey barbecue goodness. Only at KFC. If you're a sauce with the side of chicken kind of person, this is your moment. So head to KFC and don't forget the napkins. No, seriously, napkins, plural, only at KFC Guam. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You fell in love. Now you're trying to plan that perfect day? That's where our sponsors come in. Join us at the 3rd Annual Island Wedding Expo, where your forever begins. Featuring a live fashion show by Macy's. The occasion for stunning wedding decor and expert planning. Beautiful florals by Tova's Flower Shop, Heaven Sent, and Payless Floral Shop. Capture every moment with My Photo Guam and Say Media. See your day from every angle with moments to views. Custom artistry by Creative Indeed. Salon Fusion for beautiful bridal hair and makeup. And stunning decor by Glam Shop and much more. Everything you need all in one place. Sunday, June 14th, 10 to 4 at Lotte Hotel Guam. The 3rd Annual Island Wedding Expo presented by The Point, Boss 104, and Star 101.
And we're back. I just wanted to, before he shows you, when my new co-host here is Risha Nahara. And when I first met him, I was looking at all his Instagram and his Facebook page, and I'm like, what are you doing? That's supposed to be used for Christmas. So he told me the story about his friend. But I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let him share. Tell us about your friend.
Yeah, so I have a friend that I bring everywhere with me. I travel a lot, and part of my Instagram stories that I have is this little dude right here. So he is an elf in the shelf. It's just little tiny dude, right? And there's a really cool story about him. I'm going to put him right here. Can't see him anymore, but he's right here. Anyways, so on my last deployment, my 7th combat deployment, I had a really cool friend that I met. I just got to the unit, and my buddy, or at the time he was a junior Marine, we were hanging out all the time, and everybody was on pre-deployment leave. I was a staff NCO. I didn't really go anywhere or do anything other than deal with the troops. But I met this guy. His name was Daniel Vasilian. Hung out with him and everything. And when the unit starts coming back from leave, that he needs to go to a unit. And he was like, hey, since the commander was like, hey, since you already know him, why don't you take him as one of your squad leaders? And I was like, uh-oh, this is going to be a little rough because, we became friends. You shouldn't be friends with your subordinates. And I just so happen to have one of my friends as my subordinates. So we did a deployment together, and it was one of the wildest deployments, being a part of a helo raid team in Afghanistan. Well, towards the end of the deployment, just so happened to be right before Christmas Day, so the 24th of December, my buddy Danny gets shot, killed in action. We thought he survived because everybody was, being wishful thinking. But later we found out he passed away. My friend Danny also knows me and knows that I hate dolls. Hate them with a passion. It creeps me out. And he put this all over the place, and it would irritate me. So I would throw this guy, and he would get lost, and then he'd be found somewhere. Well, I had to, because I was his platoon sergeant, I had to blue bark all of his stuff. So military terms, that's bringing the remains and everything to the next of kin in the family. And I just so happened to be a little the situation was a little interesting because instead of packaging all his stuff and putting it in a container like they do for most of the people that are deployed, I said, hey, why don't you just leave all your stuff in my house? So I had to go back to my house, pick up all his stuff, deliver it to his family, went back to Afghanistan to finish out my deployment. And, I was having a bad day. I looked through my drawer and boom, this guy was in there. And I was like, man, my buddy Danny's always thinking about me, always wants to irritate me. But after service, I kept it. But after service, I always thought about him. I thought about the things that he would have done because he's a crazy dude. He's always wanted to be, in the mix of everything. So all the traveling that I've done and all the things and the work I've done, I brought him along with me to, one, remember him and share that story of Danny Vasilian, or Danny V, who was the guy of the party. He always had something weird to say. He always was involved into everything, but he was also a really good friend. No matter who you were, or how long you met him, he always created friendships. And my whole life after the military was that, being a social worker and traveling and helping people and stuff. I try to bring Danny with me everywhere I went. So he's usually attached to my pack, and we go everywhere. I hiked across the country with this dude. I actually forgot him at a hotel. I called the mayor of the hotel. I was like, can you do me a favor? Like, I'm 3 hours out from, like, your town, and I left my buddy. He's just a doll. Like, it's a little embarrassing, but can you bring him to me? And he drove his little Prius to where we were, dropped him off. He was like, this is all you want? And I was like, it actually means a lot to me, man. Like, thank you. Like, try to give him money for gas or whatever. He was like, I'm the mayor of this town. I'm like, I'm good, but continue on with what you're doing. And I was doing POW MIA stuff, so it was already a cause worth following. And the mayors in every town that we did all knew that we were trying to honor the fallen, right? The fallen and left behind. And I think, that's definitely something, considering it's Memorial Day, to remember that we still have troops that passed away and are still left in the battlefield. And it's definitely worth investing into or looking up so we could share those stories of the fallen, because when I meet their families, like, it's inspirational as a service member, but it's also, like, heartwarming knowing that we finally have closure for those individuals that were left behind.
Well, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah. And
you okay, Bob?
Yeah, I just was thinking back on something.
Yeah.
Somewhat related. One of the hardest jobs that a military officer has to do is to go with the chaplain to visit a family.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did you have to do it?
Once.
Were you active duty?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You watch it on movies, but to actually have done it.
Yeah.
Must be the hardest thing.
It's not, people sometimes think it's being at the cemetery and being the person who hands the flag to the family.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard, but it's not as hard as informing the family the first time.
Yeah. You never know what you're going to get either. We had to
Well, they know, here's the problem. They know when they see a
taxi,
a captain and a chaplain there, that they aren't just coming by to chat.
Yeah.
They're there to share.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to read some of the comments online. Bill Salisbury says, Biba Bob. And then he gives you a salute. Brendan Fausto, Jigo Jarhead watching. Let's go, veteran warfighters. Bill Salisbury, Biba HMI, Biba Senator Tyron, Biba Ray. Yes, Anthony's not here. Elizabeth Mendiola Kichichu watching. Tim Rock. Thank you, Bob and Karina and Ray, for remembering these brave people and their families. Gilbert Glenn. Hi from Gilbert Glenn Jr., Tennessee, from Tennessee, USA. Hello, all the way from Tennessee.
Yeah, yeehaw.
And then Tanya Scambulary, thank you for all the support for today's ceremony. So Tanya works at the GOVA office now. And Joanne Fullerton, good evening. Hello, Joanne. And what is that saying that a person is when a person dies, they die once when they're once when they pass away, and then for the last time when their name is said. So we're gonna keep saying their names.
Yeah.
On
Remember
YouTube
them.
side, Guam Under the Sea says in memoriam.
Hello, Chuck Hazard. I hear him every morning. They read his name sometimes on Ray's show.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, he is. He is everywhere. Chuck, we gotta have you on the show.
Ray, didn't you have something to talk about on the large sacrifice that the Guam soldiers, sailors, and Marines have made over the wars?
Oh, yeah.
And we know about the names, but how does Guam fit into the rest of the United States as far as sacrifice?
Yeah, I have a couple notes here. So the list above reflects U.S. service members with Guam as listed hometown or home of record at the time of death. Pacific Island Times report a total of 11 OEF Guam fatalities. That figure appears to result from a duplicate entry for Major Henry Officer within the article, and actually count of unique individuals is 10. Several additional Chamorro or Guam-connected service members died in OEF and OIF, but are not counted in the Guam home of record total because of their DD form home of record was elsewhere. Notable examples include Army Specialist Christopher J. Rivera Wesley, home of record is Portland, Oregon, killed 8 of December 2003 in Delulu, in Iraq. Army First Lieutenant Michael W. Vega, home of record, Lathrop, California, died 20 March 2007 of injuries sustained in Iraq. And Army Sergeant, we'll call him Eddie Lang Chen, home of record, Saipan, CNMI, killed 4 April 2004 in Baghdad. Independent reporting from the Micronesian region cites a border war on terror total of approximately 28 service members across Guam, the CNMI, FSM, RMI, and Palau, reflecting the deep Chamorro and Pacific Islander presence in the United States military service. 5 of 10 OEF Guam fatalities and 1 OIF fatality were Guam Army National Guard soldiers assigned to 1st Battalion, 294th Infantry Regiment headquarters at Fort Juan Munya, Barragata. 2 pairs were killed in the same incident, Fernandez and Heron, Ethiopia, 5 March 2007. Leongaro and Mora, Babo Clean, 10 July 2008, and Ugin and Flores, Kabul, 16 May 2013. Guam ranks the highest in the nation per capita enlistment during global war on terror. Approximately 1 in 20 Guam residents in the U.S. military veteran is a U.S. military veteran, and Guam's OIF/OEF casualty rate has been reported by Washington Post Faces of the Fallen, projected at roughly 450% of the national average. For VA purposes, OEF service is defined under 38 CFR 3.317 and the PACT Act of 2022 as qualifying service members in Southwest Asia Theater and Afghanistan from 19 September 2001. OIF service is defined as service in Iraq from 19 March 2003. Veterans who have served in the theater are entitled to presumptive service connection for burn pit and airborne hazard exposure under 38 USC 1119 as amended by the PACT Act. Live DCAS casualty data for OEF, OIF, OND, OFS, and OIR can be queried at dcas.dmdc.osd.mil. Individual records are also indexed at the Washington Post Faces of the Fallen archived in and the Military Times Honor the Fallen database.
Thank you for that. We're going to take a break.
Oh, cool.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Veterans with Benefits.
Finally, now on Guam, KFC. KFC. From KFC, introducing the all-new KFC Original Honey Barbecue Extra Crispy Chicken. Golden, crispy, and dunked in that rich, tangy, smoky, saucy, sticky, finger-licking honey barbecue goodness. Only at KFC. If you're a sauce with the side of chicken kind of person, this is your moment. So head to KFC and don't forget the napkins. No, seriously, napkins, plural, only at KFC Guam. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Sherry Mendiola here from Security Title. Thinking about skipping title insurance to save money? It might seem like a small shortcut, but it can lead to big problems later. Hidden liens, ownership disputes, or even fraud can surface after you purchase your home, putting your investment at risk. Without title insurance, you could be responsible for costly legal fees or even lose your property. Title insurance protects your ownership and gives you peace of mind from day one. Don't take the risk. Call the professionals at Security Title. We're here to help.
And we're back. If you're just joining us, you can listen to us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Oh, so you got YouTube to work, Jose? Oh, okay. Because I just dawned on me that he said, remember what he said earlier?
Yes.
then he read the comments on YouTube?
It's not playing the audio.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, no worries. We have new people joining us. Marvin says, good evening, HMI and Biba Memorial Day, remembering our veterans. And I sent Jose some photos, so my brother-in-law doesn't know I'm talking about this, but it's public because it's on his page. So he just returned from a mission in Vietnam, searching for MIA.
Yeah.
And so this is some photos of him digging, and I think that's him. That's my brother-in-law, Sergeant McCord. And this is not his AFSC. I think this was, I'm not sure if he volunteered for this or was picked for this, or his job, he was required to be there.
Didn't you say he was EOD?
Oh, yeah, you're right. He is EOD.
Yeah, they need EOD people on site because of the explosives in the area.
So,
I only know this because I used to work a team.
This is interesting.
It is. It's pretty cool.
And so I think I sent you the one of him, and I'm not sure what's happening here. And then I'm not
like
sure.
One of the dig sites.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was bringing it up so you could tell us more about it, Ray, since you said you ran a team.
Yeah. So the POW MIA stuff, they're still, oh, by the way, this is a hat from one of our sponsors, and if you call in, maybe you'll get something. So the POW MIA stuff, right, it started with Vietnam, right? A lot of the moms weren't getting their sons home, so they created a little group, which eventually opened it up to creating the DPAA, which is the Department of Personnel Accountability Agency or administration. And that's probably who your cousin works for right now, the DPAA. So they
My cousin?
Your brother?
No, my brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
So
yep.
he's active duty, but this was his TDY. He just came back from.
So he probably works for the DPAA. So the DPAA has a bunch of money to recover our nation's missing in action. Usually they're dedicated to Vietnam, but they do give out kind of grants, right? Or if you work with the DPAA, they'll reimburse you for whatever. So I work for a company called History Flight. History Flight is a private organization that locates, retrieves, and recovers remains in other locations, right? So I was a team leader for a project in Tarawa. So Tarawa is in a country called Kiribati, middle of nowhere, but the Marines had the biggest and bloodiest battle in the Pacific, and that was on Tarawa. If you ever seen Tarawa, little tiny island, you could see left to right the ocean and everything. So as an infantry guy, I'm looking at the battle space, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy to fight on. And knowing that we left people behind because of the logistic issue that we had, the personnel issue, and then the lack of transportation that we had because we were working off of ships, couldn't keep our fallen really there. So a lot of times, in order to preserve their honor, we buried them on the spot or gave them war graves in the ocean. So usually people that were buried out at sea are the hardest ones to find. So we consider them war graves when they're out at sea. But if we know and we could locate individuals that were left behind, like in Tarawa in the Philippines, here on Guam, they left a bunch of people. We could recover and repatriate them back to the United States, CONUS, and give them back to their family and help them with their closure because a lot of the families that have MIA in their families, they're supposed to be updated of what's happening, what's going on, how far along are them. But it's a very interesting world to be in, because you have to find and locate somebody who could verify through DNA if they are the match. Because we'll find holes, a bunch of people in it. We don't know who they are, so we have to do DNA testing. And the only way to really confirm is find a living relative down the line who is a female, who has mitochondrial DNA, that we could verify that they have blood relations to that person. Then we can confirm who that is, and then give them the proper honors and burial that they deserve. And it's very enlightening to see that kind of work, especially towards the end. The digging, the finding, that's one story. You never know what you're going to get, and sometimes you find the bad guy, and we still have to honor those individuals, right? There are other service members, maybe from the opposite side, but they also paid the sacrifice in being a part of war, and it's interesting being a part of that world, especially dealing with the other country. We found Japanese, Koreans in the battlefield in Kiribati, and I'm sure that we'll find the same things in Vietnam or anywhere that we have. Sometimes when we're looking for MIA, they could be pilots that just had a bad flight and landed in the wrong place and were buried near their crash. That's also missions that we go out, and the DPAA is in charge of.
When you went on your mission, did you guys find anyone? Or?
We found about 6 remains. And then I have a full team. I have doctors, osteologists, scientists that could confirm and make sure that the remains are treated with dignity and respect, regardless of what side they fall on. And a lot of times it's obviously the remains degrade. So it's finding little things to kind of bring us closer to who that person is, whether it's a uniform item, a ripped or torn piece of paper. We find money in their pockets and stuff like that. And it tells a story of what that person was doing before they passed away. And it's interesting to kind of figure out, because we're all police officers engage into okay, we found him at this level. What was he doing? Is this an actual grave, or is it just a hole that they put them in? Sometimes it looks like that, but you got to understand, it's been over almost 50 years now. Some of these people passed away, and the earth just does weird things. You can find body parts 10 feet away only because a root from a tree pushed it that way, and we have to go find them. So that's why we have an osteologist who counts every single bone to make sure the body's complete. It's interesting work, but it's definitely worth it to bring home our lost and fallen.
Ray, you are saying something that I just want to tie also into our Memorial Day. We've talked about the people who have been brought back after giving their greatest sacrifice, but we still have thousands of people from Vietnam, thousands of people from Korea, thousands and thousands of people, even World War II, that the families have never had closure. It's the MIAs. We still have our MIA POW flag, but at this stage, almost all of them are just MIAs that have not had the remains. I don't think we have any POWs that I know of at this time, but the MIAs have left those families with a hole, unable to have that closure.
Yeah.
Which is why most military events have a POW MIA table.
Yeah.
The red rose.
And the only flag that can be right underneath the American flag. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that.
At the post office.
Yeah, always at the post office. But definitely remembering them and never giving up to find them and locate them. And we actually have a little bit over 81,000 service members that are still haven't been brought home.
Were there any in the Iraq-Afghanistan?
No, not that I know of. Not that anybody has reported. Usually when they passed away, we brought them back, or in some cases, and they probably don't report this either, we will destroy their body on the spot if we can't locate them. That's happened too. They're just so far behind enemy lines. The best thing to do is just everything, and that's happened a couple times that I know of. But still giving them the same honors and everything like that. It's just he wasn't able to be brought home, and we definitely don't want to leave his body there, because the enemy that we fought before would do really horrific things to a body just to prove a point and put it online and everything. So it's just a different war.
Yes. We have one comment online from Marvin and Seki. If we could get identification recognition for every veteran identified by state, home of records, and listed. That is the true numbers for all of our veterans' needs and benefits. Marvin, I think that is a uphill battle.
Yeah.
The numbers. He's talking about the numbers.
Of all veterans.
Yes.
We need to have a good veteran count, don't we?
Yes. We tried to do that. Was it last year?
Last year.
Yes, last year.
But how many of our people that enlist or join the military probably maybe have joined from Hawaii, California?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my really good friends, like enlisted out of Arizona, but he's from Guam. He's still here.
But it depends. Does he put home of record Guam or Hawaii?
Ooh, that's a question.
That's what's important.
Probably
because
not
when
here.
you send your copy of your DD-214, right, it asks you what's your home of record, and the office it gets sent to, if it's home of record Guam, would be our Guam Office of Veteran Affairs in Assen.
Yeah.
Which
but
is
imagine like
set to
somebody
relocate.
who's like 17 years old, you ask them home records like where I live right now. That's where they're going to put it. So if they live somewhere in California or Arizona, they're
And then no one's there with you when you're filling all these records when you're in basic, and no one
Yeah.
tells you, and you're going through all these things, and this is my home of record. So it all depends, right? But I think we do need that true, accurate number for all those DD-214s that do get registered
Yeah.
at our Assen office.
My DD-214 went to Pearl Harbor, where I did MEPS at. So mine didn't come here.
So what is your home of record?
Where I have grown up all my life in Dedido, that
So
I've
you
never
put
changed.
Guam?
No, I did, but for some reason, whoever was at IPAC or administration part, like, put Pearl Harbor
So
where
Hawaii
I did MEPS.
then?
Yeah. And I had to pay taxes to Hawaii. When
I
I
wonder
didn't
if you can
live
get
there.
that changed.
Well, you know what? They would owe me a lot of money then.
So that was a. I just want to touch on a few of our events that are coming up before we end, and I do want to talk about, since we saw the really beautiful veteran cemetery, about Wreaths Across America.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when I was walking away to my car, I thought, gosh, I should have passed out some flyers for Wreaths Across America, because this is an event that's going to creep up on us, and veterans are going to wonder, how do I get a wreath for my loved one resting there?
Make
And
a QR code and make a lay.
It
or
is a
sash.
QR code.
Just walk everywhere you go.
I'm going to make shirts and walk around with the QR code on
so
the
if you're
shirt.
watching this, we put a QR code on there. I'll put a couple links on the comments if you guys want to check it out later. But get it while we can, right? Reserve your wreaths before it's too late. A lot of people are trying to buy it in December. Best time to buy it is now.
Right now. You can go to wreathsacrossamerica.org and you can search GU0011P, and if you search that takes you to HMI. So the veteran nonprofit organization we're a part of, we receive $5 for every wreath that's purchased, and that helps their fundraising efforts throughout the year. And it's beautiful. So they gave us a template flyer, and I changed it, and I said, hey, why don't I just put this one on there, because it's an actual, our veteran and cemetery. And then Jose, you put up the fishing tournament, our first ever. Ambrose is teaching us how to fish. July 18, 2026. We're launching from Agate and Agania.
Cool.
That's the show.
And that's the show. And like I said, if anybody's out there, this is definitely a time of remembering. But if you're dealing with anything when it comes to your mental health, go get help. And if you ever need anything, just remember to ask.
And the proper thing to say on Memorial Day is have a solemn remembrance for Memorial Day.
And I always say, stay informed, stay ready, and thank you for your service. We'll see you next week.
Call and get some local jerk stuff.
Next week.
Next week. This is a pretty cool Nancy bag.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
But he's saying it's near finalization. Here's Fox's Kevin Court.
A top U.S. official says both sides are working to finalize a deal. Iran has already agreed to a framework in principle, now said to be about 95% complete. But negotiators are still haggling over language on Tehran's nuclear stockpile and the Strait of Hormuz. The president